What's up, guys? I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to talk about self-concept. And I feel that the best way to explain this is to tell my story about how having the wrong self-concept affected me so that you can get a stronger and more firm understanding of what it really is. So, at this time in this story, it's noon, about, give or take, maybe 11:30. I don't know. And it's a Sunday in early February. And I'm sitting on the dining room table and just finished a bowl of yogurt. Ate a lot of yogurt back then. I can smell peanut butter and a lavender candle burning, and I can hear some other teenagers laughing and chattering among themselves in a different room, the next room. And I can see my own tears welling up in my eyes. I feel completely crushed and unsure of how I will move forward. And I feel defeated. It's not good. And there's a woman quite a bit older than me sitting across from me at the table. Her hair is about shoulder length and completely gray. Her eyes are green just like mine. I don't know if you can tell. I have very green eyes. And I love her very much, and she's very important in my life. And without her, I couldn't have had the opportunity or been able to pursue entrepreneurship full time for the past 8 months prior to that. And she tells me is really hard to hear. And she tells me that she didn't literally say those words, but she basically told me that I need to grow up and that hovering around my income level, which was $600 to $1,300 a month, just enough to pay for groceries, gas, and car insurance, is not going to cut it. And I was trying to make myself look good. It was more at the lower end of that range. 1,300 was like a high. But anyway, making that just to pay groceries, gas, and car insurance, and just kind of get by in the basement is not gonna cut it anymore. Now, just if you were wondering, that's my mom, and yeah, so it's basically my mom telling me like I need to get a real job. um, and what happened leading up to that was I quit working at the grocery store about a year and a half before that so that I could attend a remote data science boot camp in the hopes of a more lucrative career. Data science, honestly, it's weird. It's honestly hard to describe what it really honestly is, but it's basically companies that use data to make insights on business decisions, and they hire people that know how to use the programming languages to actually work with that data to make sense out of it. And I worked really, really hard. I soaked in information. I might not remember it much now, but I soaked in a ton of information, and I became a very awkward penguin. I would just be on the computer for 60 to 70 hours a week. And it actually like it I mean I didn't do anything about it, but I couldn't do it again. I'll just put it that way. And I was just grinding away on a computer, and I was doing so much more than necessary too. It was like where I was getting my fulfillment from. Um, and I couldn't find a job in the field. Um, right. Once they finished the boot camp, they're like, hey, find a job. I couldn't find a job, but I did start tutoring. I started tutoring people who were basically going through boot camps just like the one I went through, and teaching them how to do it. And that's how I made my money. So it was kind of like almost like a, like, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like a pyramid scheme. I was I was making money by teaching other people how to do what I was just learning how to do. Because I couldn't find a job. And I accept this as like some money to make, some decent like get by money, but I was started getting interested in coaching. Um, and I got really interested in entrepreneurship again, which I was actually interested before I even got into AI. And then I tried to start a few different types of businesses, um, and two of them being coaching businesses. And I'm unsatisfied with my situation, and I just block everyone out, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I just go at it, and I don't even make any money. I got super close to closing, like I really really close, almost sold the program to one guy. And that was a fitness coaching offer. And I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity or the ability to do business for yourself full time and then you lost it for whatever reason. You weren't able to do it anymore. I had it at a small level. I didn't lose any like massive successful business or anything, but I had to get a job and move out and just become an adult. Um, and it was something that I had a belief in my head that I was afraid like that I would ever be able to do business if I didn't have like the entire day, you know, which is obviously nonsense, but that's what scared me. And for the next 10 months, I continued to struggle with, distractions, um, new responsibilities of taking care of myself, and um, that shiny object syndrome where I would go from one thing to the other thing to the other thing and other thing and never do enough work, never do enough to actually break through. Happened over and over and over again. Um, I was quite unhappy with it. And, the reason why I suffered so much and went through so much was because of my self concept. When I quit that job, I might have quit that job, but my mental image maintained the same level of income as that job at Kroger at the grocery store. There was an image in my head that told me that I didn't even know about that that's all I was going to make. There was this other image in my head that just it thought I needed to grind all the time, because I used to basically work at Kroger for 40 hours a week and I would study AI for 30. So it's practically like 70-hour work week, right? So I figured, okay, now that I'm doing this full time, I'm just going to be 70 hours on the computer, which that's not the same thing. 40 hours at an in-person job and 30 hours on a computer is not the same thing as 70 hours on a computer. Um, and I didn't even need to do all that work. I just took pride in it. Um, I thought that because I had this self-image that basically it's you know like money's hard to come by and it takes a lot of hard work, and even if you can't make the money, you should at least take pride in the fact that you put in so much work, um, and you sacrifice pretty much everything you actually want to do and just do all this work. um, there were so many of these beliefs that I had, and there's no need to get into all of them, but this starts to paint a picture of what self-concept is. You have an image of who you are, and it's every little thing about you to a T. And you have all these beliefs that support it, and these beliefs are ingrained in your head, and they cause you to think the way you think and behave the way you behave. Um, you know, Unfortunately, there's not a hard copy of it, but you have a manual that defines everything that you're capable of. And part of what elevating your self concept means is finding that manual, extracting it out of your brain, and changing what's in that manual so that you can actually become capable of your goals effortlessly. Okay. And this is why you're stuck in whatever you're trying to do. Because your self concept, you think and believe whatever it is that you believe, and that most likely does not, unless you're raised in some like really successful family, is probably not, or some family that's very much knowledgeable on this kind of stuff. Is that self concept, that thing is probably not um, correct. It's probably not in alignment with what you want. And, it's not your fault because, I went through and figured out all of my self concept. And it was like stuff from like childhood, like from age 8 to my early teens was when most of the stuff formed. So it's not even your fault that you have it, but it is your responsibility to figure out what it is and learn about it. Um, so I didn't I couldn't have done this on my own. I didn't do this on my own. I've come unaware of this concept and I've tried to do it on my own before. Even during this time, I was struggling, but it didn't work, obviously. Um, so, her name is Anam Hayat, and she is very, very, very knowledgeable on this kind of stuff. And and even from people have been able to speak with her, and that's been enough for them to help them make more money and things that were out of their self concept. So you can even get on a call with her completely for free, and that would be a great way for you to be able to really get a sense for what to do. And like I said, it won't even cost you anything. So if that's something that you're interested in, then you could just reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll work out a way for her to find a time to get in touch with you and all that. Um, so yeah, you can just send me a message and we'll figure it out. And like I said, this call it's completely free. So there's no need to worry about how much it costs or whatnot. It is completely free. And even if you're really busy, I mean, it's one thing if there's no time, then we can, even if there's not a time in the calendar or something, we can still work something out probably. And it's really worth it, even if you are quite busy, because this call can show you the things that have held you back for like years. So it's it only take like 45 minutes, so um, it's probably worth 45 minutes if you're going to learn about what's been holding you back for probably, quite honestly, decades, years or decades, depending on your age. Most likely decades. And um, you know, and if you're trying or want to figure out how to do this on your own, I mean, that's totally fine. It's just, in my experience, there have been a lot of people that say they'll do it on their own. They end up asking like a ton of questions to the point where it's like, maybe, maybe it would have been good to just have someone give you that thorough, like 45-minute examination. Um, and then from there, if you want to do it yourself, that's totally fine too. Um, and that's really the video. So like I said, if you're interested in that kind of thing and having a chat or seeing some time to get in touch with Anam Hayat, who's helped me with self concept massively, then then yeah, just reach out to me and we'll figure it out. So yeah.